Hello everybody, Todd Michael Putnam here again with D&D Creative Table Designs, and this here is another adventure table setup. This one is the Brigands of the Broken Watchtower. And the idea behind this adventure is that a barbarian from the north has come down and he has basically assembled under his banner a number of brigands who basically work for them, and they waylay and raid small towns and merchants and stuff in the area and bring it back to a relatively well defended, for brigands, well organized area around a broken and no longer used watchtower. And he has brought with him a mysterious shaman who gives him magical insight, apparently, the rumors go. And that's part of the reason why he's so successful in his raids. And so the players have been hired by the local towns who have decided it's not feasible after scouting to make a direct assault on the Broken Watchtower encampment because it's guarded too well. They erected fences all along this one particular side where they were open, and they have higher watchtower areas so that they can see from them. Behind them, they are buttressed up against the back of the edge of the mountain, so there's no attack from that way. And then from the waterfall that comes from out of the mountain itself, there's a stream that follows around, creating a natural boundary on the remaining side. So there's basically only one easy way to approach, and the rest of it, the brigands are able to defend quite easily. So for that reason, the towns have decided that if they were going to send their troops, their guards, directly in at it, most of them would get slaughtered, and the net result would just be that the towns would be left defenseless against the brigands' further raids. So instead, they did what the towns do, and they put out a bounty, and they hired for heroes to come and take care of it for them. And it's a multi-tiered bounty. There are multiple things that the characters can do, the heroes can do, in order to be able to increase the reward that they get from the towns. And the brigands are mostly humans, so they've decided that nighttime is the best time to attempt to infiltrate and do a stealth mission and surgically do certain things. The first portion of the bounty is to rescue some prisoners who they believe after scouting out, are being held within the broken watchtower itself. So the heroes are going to have to somehow get inside of here stealthily in order to be able to get those prisoners out. The second is to kill the brigand leader, who is known as Corin Skullcleaver. And he's the barbarian that came from the north. He's very much a brute force kind of guy. So being able to kill him, if they can cut off the head, that would be a huge help. That increases the bounty significantly. Additionally, they get a little bit more bounty if they kill the mysterious shaman, for whom they have no name, but he acts basically as the advisor for Skullcleaver, and he seems to give them some magical knowledge, or at least that's what the rumor is. That's what the scuttlebutt is. And so if they could kill him, it would certainly greatly weaken the camp. And the fourth thing that they can do to increase their bounty is to kill this creature here known as the Mountain Rage, who is an ogre who acts as basically the lieutenant for Skullcleaver. And he basically just wanders around the camp. He's almost like a wandering boss mob, so to speak, for others. And he, because he's an ogre, he's the only one that has dark vision, infravision, betraying my D&D basic roots. He's the only one who has dark vision, so he's the one that's hardest probably to sneak up on. And then the fifth thing that they can do is whatever defections or chaos they can cause within the camp itself in order to weaken it. So if they can get some of the brigands to just quit and leave, if they can assassinate a few of them or kill a few of them, and bring back proof of it, bring basically some scalps back or some heads back to prove that they've weakened it, then their bounty will be increased that much more. And so the idea is, because it's a night-based mission and it's against mostly humans who aren't able to see well, they'll do things, the players can do things like cast silence on their arrows, and then when they shoot their arrows into watchtower guards, doesn't matter whether they scream or not, if they kill them, they'll drop them over dead, and they can create pockets or holes that they'll be able to go into and work their way through stealthily to try and accomplish things that they do. But it's a relatively, as I said, for Brigands, it's a relatively well-organized system. And every roughly 15 to 20 minutes or so, the guards sound off in clockwise order to make sure that there are no holes in the defenses, because they are aware that they don't see nearly as well at night. And so it might be up to the players to either see if they've got somebody who can use their deception skills or performance skills to try and play the part of the guard that was killed, and cover that hole that they've breached in as much as possible, or some other method in order to be able to reduce the chances of being detected that there is actually some kind of a problem. Because a direct assault would bring all of the brigands coming at once, and they would simply overwhelm and swarm the players, and they would probably most likely meet with an untimely death. So this is very much a stealth mission. They'd have to go in using stealth, using silence, using deception, and surgically strike within this very small confined area. Of course, there's going to be wind, there's going to be the sound of birds, whatever night sounds there are. So there's going to be certain amounts of cover that they have. And of course, if they go in on a new moon, or when there's no moon whatsoever, then that's going to help increase their chances. But that's the idea of this, the Brigands of the Watchtower, the Broken Watchtower. And it's a chance to gain a multi-tiered bounty instead of just one thing. There's increasing goals that they can do that will bump up their reward. So that's the idea behind it. I hope you enjoyed this particular one. Had a lot of fun putting it together, and really enjoyed the way that it came out. This one here, I think it really came out pretty good. Something I've been wanting to do for some time, but it's taken me some time to collect the various pieces. This Broken Watchtower is a 3D print off of eBay. Also the same for some of these little tents and stuff here. That one and that one, those are 3D prints from off of eBay. The lower section of these here are from Monster Fight Club, and they're basically bridges and stuff. The upper section that you see, these taller ones, are also 3D prints. These guys right there, those are also 3D prints from off of eBay. The rocks here are also from Monster Fight Club, but you'll notice I got them. Somebody, I can't remember who, mentioned a couple times, like, you need to get those black wash, and I did. You're absolutely correct. They look so much better than they did before. I love Monster Fight Club, and they do come pre-painted, but in this particular instance, I think just throwing a black wash on it really brings out the detail, and makes it a much more organic looking experience. So those are good. These trees, the autumn trees, are also from Monster Fight Club. The non-autumn trees, these guys here, are from Dwarven Forge. And then there's a bunch of stuff from, I want to say, WizKids, that there's like I think it's their encampment Fort 4D or something like that, they call it, encampment stuff that I put in here, that has like some fires in it and some tents and spits and things like that. So I put those in just to add in a little extra oomph. I think these lean-tos come from that as well, from the WizKids encampments. The river itself is from Pegasus Hobbies. It's like a little snap-together thing. And these little corner guys, the one I'm focusing right now, they're like slight edge. Those are pretty much, in my opinion, the keys to making it look as organic as possible, where you throw as many of them in as you can to try and keep it not being quite so straight. If it's like perfectly straight, or if it's got, perfect rounded, corners and things, it just tends to feel more man-made. So I just use more of those these little smaller ones in here in order to make small, more natural feeling jogs in the way the river itself flows. This little waterfall right here, I got that. That's also a 3D print image from off of eBay. And that works pretty darn well for being the source of the river itself from coming out of the mountain. That's good. These guys here are, of course, the wall display from Game of Thrones. They normally come looking like ice, but I've had them repainted to look like regular rock and stuff. These little stone things on top, they actually come from Dwarven Forge. These are stone trays. The backside of it, I think, is rivers or something like that. And it's rather amazing that the stone tray from being from Dwarven Forge, having nothing to do from the wall display from a completely different company, making for a completely different purpose, fits perfectly across the top of that. If you pull this off, it has this very plain looking, not so great thing with the big, for hole in there for the purposes of the toy that it was created. But you can throw this little rock thing on there and it just adds a little bit of it's not perfect, but the fit is certainly perfect. That does a nice job of just saying, okay, there's the rocky top of the mountain if you wanted to use that as a gameplay. Of course, all of these things have ledges, and the players, you may want to have excuse me, it's not COVID, I swear. You could also have, stealthy characters or whatever, or rangers climb up on to these high areas and have an advantage on their marksman shots trying to take out guards or whatever. And so that's just one of the other strategies they could use, or they could find little holes in the fence and try and sneak in through that way, possibly. There's just a variety of different things they could do for trying to sneak in, but a main frontal assault against all of them at once would just bring a crush of enemies. And so stealth is of the utmost concern, and anything stealth and deception are the way that they would try and tackle this and see if they could accomplish the multi-tiered goals. So the idea behind the encampment itself is a little bit taken off from, it's basically inspired by stuff that I've seen in Skyrim. For those of you who have played that video game, I'm sure many of you have. If you're into gaming at all, you'll notice that there's these brigand encampments and stuff, and they've often got little barricades and stuff up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's see if we can build something like that, because that'd be really cool. And this is the way it came out. This is the way it came together. So appreciate you taking the time to check it out. Always look forward to your comments and feedback. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next adventure. Thanks for watching. You guys take care. Bye.